their favourite 10-pin bowling styles play for a place in the semi-final. And with a $70,000 prize pool, nerves are already being shaken. This is the PartyPoker.net World 10-Pin Masters, and only one can take the crown. Let's see the draw so far.
One semi-final already lined up thanks to quarter-final wins by defending champion Chris Barnes and Australia's Jason Belmonte. Now a battle of the left-handers as birthday boy Alex Liew of Malaysia takes on England's Paul Moor, a runner-up in this event for the past 2 years.
Tonight, former Asian ranked #1 meets one of England's best bowlers. He's got the crowd behind him and they're all cheering him on to take that semi-final spot.
Hi, my name is Paul Moor. I'm from England and today I'm playing Alex Liew from Malaysia.
Hi, I'm Alex Liew. I'm from Malaysia. I'm 31 years old and I'm here for the World 10-Pin Master for the second round.
He's a good player. Played all around the world, from Malaysia and in the East and the Far East as well, so I expect a tough match again.
It's going to be tough for me because he's the home crowd here.
I'm always confident, so, but over 2 games anything can happen, but just take each shot. I'll take each shot as it comes.
He's been bowling good ever since even the last year and the last 2 years. He's been the second in the World 10-Pin Masters. He's a very consistent player.
Time now to join your commentators, tournament favourite Chris Barnes alongside Simon Golding.
Happy birthday to Alex, 31 years of age today. And what a birthday present it could be to progress in this tournament. Very, very consistent bowler. Took away Michael Schmidt in the first round. Michael Schmidt, the former World Cup champion from Canada. And Schmitty just did not get the carry in that game, and Alex Liew kept plugging away and eventually managed to reap the rewards, finding a place in the quarterfinals. Although a place in the quarterfinals against Paul Moor, I'm not sure whether you call that a reward or not. It's a tough ask.
Yeah, there's really very few, well actually this year I don't think there's any good draws in the first round, and certainly not after that. Every match is pretty much a toss-up. There's an incredible amount of talent between these two players. The winner of these two will face the winner of the Remy Ong, Dominic Barrett match, and those guys both bowled great. The big challenge today will be for these guys to get out of the blocks.
Yeah, it just keeps getting tougher and tougher at this tournament. Paul Moor then, as we said, fantastic record, the 28-year-old from Beverley in the north of England, so doesn't live too far away from this venue, and that always helps. Bowlers will tell you time and time again, if you are close to where you're bowling in a big competition, it's nice to sleep in your own bed at night. It's nice to have familiar surroundings.
Well, and certainly as much as Paul travels, being able to sleep in your own bed is an advantage. Sometimes I found early on in my career it was an advantage to be on the road and be away from some of the distractions, and there's a lot of things going on. But as I've gotten older with family and traveled much more, that the conveniences of home and the comfort of that routine outweighs the benefits of not having any other obligations.
Paul Moor then looking to stake a claim for a place in the semi-final. We already know the first semi-final as Bernie White gets this match underway.
Alex to start the first game.
Bernie White, our tournament referee, ever present over the 10 years of this fantastic event. And who is going to take their place? The first place available in the second semi. Chris Barnes, alongside me in the commentary booth, will be up against Jason Belmonte later in this tournament in our first semi-final. But Alex Liew and Paul Moor about to go head-to-head for their place. Liew's opener then. What a start.
Exactly what you'd like. His first match, he only shot 203 the first game, and if he does that against Paul, he'll be in a deep hole, I have a feeling. So both players got better as it went on, with Alex shooting 259 his second game at Michael Schmidt, but Paul was even better as he shot 289 the second game.
There have been some pretty impressive numbers posted at this tournament so far, which rather whets the appetite for these latter rounds. Liew looking calm and comfortable. He's experienced this tournament once before, and so he says he feels a lot more at home on this stage. Paul Moor just setting himself for his first delivery. The two lefties going head to head here. And he gets that bit of carry that he was looking for. Down goes the 8 pin. If he's going to leave a pin, Paul Moor, it's going to be the 8.
It seemed like that in his first match as well. Probably the good news for him is that even this early on in the match, Oil will be carrying down the lane, and so there will be less entry angle through the pocket. And even if he stands on the same spot the very next shot, it wouldn't go that high, I wouldn't think.
All these calculations happening for the bowlers throughout the match, and they have very little information other than what they see and what they feel to make those judgments. It's not a double, and Liew leaves that troublesome 8 pin.
This shot was just a little bit inside of his target. It tried to hold pocket, but you can watch the 5 pin gets chopped right off the 8.
That mix of pins, of course, so important in the way that you finally get your pin count together.
And here we're going on the twister pins, which fall a little bit differently than some of the other brands of pins out there. You don't really see 4 pins as much as you see 4 9s for right-handers and 6 8s for left-handers, and not as many ringing 10s, but you'll see 9 pins, especially by the players with the higher rev rates and the guys that create a lot of entry angle, like these two and Oscu and Belmonte.
You're just mentally rehearsing that final part of his delivery. We saw a shot earlier of Remy Ong. He'll be involved in the last of our quarter-finals up against England's Dominic Barrett. It really is a who's who of world bowling here at this World 10-pin Masters. Moore then, working a strike, turns it into a double. Good start.
He sure looks confident, looks relaxed, and certainly lined up right now.
He does have a marvellous capacity for concentration, and that's a big feature of this game.
Well, his overall demeanor is very level, and I think favors him, and much like a golfer like Ernie Els. It's a pretty relaxed, pretty low level. He doesn't burn real hot when things are going bad, or real low, real hot even when they're going good either. He's able to keep that same level, and allows him to be more consistent than players that go up and down.
Oh dear, oh that is a shame for Alex Liew, in danger of an open frame here.
Well, we just talked about it too. So rarely do you get to see just the 6 pin with players with this much axis rotation and angle through the back of the lane.
Got right through the head pin on that one. This is a tough one. So the first big question to be asked in this quarter-final, and it's being asked of Alex Liew. He had a go at it as well, didn't he?
It's a really good effort.
You've got to make your decisions. Some players would just take their medicine at that stage and just take out the single pin. But Liew deciding already that he can't risk that. But unfortunately didn't make the contact that he wanted to hit it thin and get it across to take out the other pin. And consequently now staring at a big deficit. Moore still on for that maximum, doubled up in the first 2 frames, and now working that, trying for a turkey. This is a very big ball here, Chris.
Well, when there's blood in the water, there's never a better chance.
No, the 7 left standing. That was a big gasp from the crowd there. I don't know if you guys heard that, picked it up on our lane side microphones, but the crowd reacting, they realised how important it was for Moore to get another strike.
Well, they did, and this is the part of the game that I found the most difficult too, because the lanes are changing very fast right now. The first shot he almost 8 pin, the next one's high flush, now it's a flat 7. He'll probably have to make a small move to the left, maybe no more than a half board the next frame, and maybe again 2 frames later, and after that they'll probably start to move back to the right.
There was Remy Ong looking on with interest. A lot of the players like to come to the players area to watch the matches. Even if you're next up, a lot of players will get on and see what's happening out on the lane. And when you're that close to fellow bowlers, you can see the changes they're making quite easily, can't you?
Well, you can see the changes. It also helps you get comfortable with the environment. There's not very many places in the world you have a chance to bowl in this kind of environment. You get a feel for what's going on in the energy.
Asks it to sit, and sit it does. Sits right into the pocket. So Liew picks up his second strike of this game, but unfortunately he hasn't put a pair together as yet. 344 on the revs, so just a little down on some of the higher revving bowlers that we've seen. But it's accuracy with Liew, that's what he goes for. He's quite a long way back from the foul line. He floats it out onto the lane, and he needs to be in that pocket every single time if he's going to get the carry that he wants.
Well, the most important part is that the speed and rev rate are matched up, and Alex has a little bit softer ball speed than obviously the two-handers who have very high ball speed, but their rev rates match that as well. The rest of us fall significantly below that, and our ball speeds are also lower. And then Paul and Alex are softer yet, with a little bit softer rev rate. But you couldn't tell that at the pins because their balls are all exploding as they come off the break point.
Well, as we said, we can't really see the changes, those subtle changes that Moor is making, but I would venture there's been a slight change there because he's got yet another different outcome.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this one was a move, but it was a bad shot. He got it left to target. You can see he didn't like it. Felt pretty fortunate that he didn't leave the 7-pin with this.
Well, at the moment, this one looking like a bit of a dogfight. Spare made.
And now with the strike, Alex can bowl within 12 pins.
That's the important thing, isn't it? That if your opponent does slip up, if they do something wrong, that you jump on it.
Absolutely. In such a short format, you have to take advantage of opportunities. You were not going to get very many with the quality of players in this field. And if you're fortunate for them to slip up a little bit, you can't wait. There's no guarantee you're going to get another chance.
The voice of experience, Chris Barnes alongside me in the commentary booth, defending champion here at this tournament. Oh, that's nice from you. That's much better. That's probably his most convincing shot.
I think you're absolutely right. He posted up this shot, dead solid at the foul line, and he knew it as soon as it left his hand. Carry was the only question.
So he's almost at that point where he's going to feel comfortable with this line for a while. And that is what the line looks like. That's pretty straight, Chris.
A little bit, and they will play more direct. Both their hands get around the side of the ball a little bit, and that allows them to have a little bit lower rev rate and still create all that angle in the back of the lane.
Nice response from Paul Moor. Real character from both bowlers at the moment. This one is going to be a real contest, I feel.
This ball is just a couple of boards wide of the last one. And even though Paul's rev rate is about 40 points lower than Alex's, he's actually hooking it more than Alex is, based on his ball speed being a touch less.
Well, most sports people, most coaches will tell you that left-handers in any sport will create some pretty unique angles. And it's no different for 10-pin bowling. Alex Liew then working a double. Oh, very nice turkey for Liew. Moor's going to get asked some questions here.
And Alex looks like he's just right in the groove. The last three shots are nearly identical speed-wise, target-wise, and result.
Well, he's pretty close to that all-important zone that we hear sports psychologists talking about, and he's got to stay there, hasn't he?
It's always hard to tell with Alex because he never shows much emotion either way. But those last three were very impressive.
Moor then, coming off the back of a strike, needs a double here if he's going to stay with Liew. Well, his sight's right in front of him, so it looks like he's almost looking at his feet, doesn't it? It's a very unusual eye position.
It is different. There's 2 or 3 players on the PBA Tour that do the same thing. I always find it amazing. Every time I try it, I either hit my foot or throw it in the gutter. But the players on our tour are amazingly successful at it too. That's
so many individual ways of bowling, and we see a lot of those. There is your coaching manual, traditional style, but so many of these guys develop their own styles in the bowling lanes in which they practice over the years. That's one of the beauties of this sport. Liew then working that turkey, and he turns it into a slightly lucky four-bagger.
Yeah, this shot's a couple boards outside of target. It really had to climb the hill. Just, yeah, nearly 3 boards left of his last shot out there. All came up, managed to send everything student body right, and it's a 5-pin slashes into the 10.
Yeah, it's looking really solid now for Liew. So just looking round there, or down their profile forms. Paul Moor lists Patrick Allen as his all-time favourite bowler, and Alex Liew lists Parker Bowen the third. Two men that you know very well, Chris, and I'll get you to talk about them after Paul Moor's next delivery. Yes, very good. So turkey for Moor. Tell us a bit about those two star bowlers.
Well, they picked some pretty good guys to emulate. You know, Parker has been one of the best players on the tour, right or left-handed, for nearly 15 years now. And you know, super smooth player, lots of rotation, great at playing out, and can move in, much like Paul. I mean, they're very similar in that respect, which is ironic because Alex may be. These guys both throw a lot more like Parker than Patrick. Patrick has got a little more grab and pull in his game, but he's gritty. He's just super gritty. He gets it done on all kinds of conditions, and is absolutely the most improved player from rookie season to now on the PBA Tour.
Then, with a good effort, but he was high through the head pin there. Did well to clear out as many as he did. Once again, changes happening to this lane, so he can't turn it into a 5-bagger, and he's got some thinking to do here.
Well, now it's just an overcompensation. The last shot got away from him a little bit to the left, and possibly thinking about the wrong things, and didn't want to go there again. This one was a couple boards inside of target instead, and that one didn't quite hold.
That's the scorecard so far for Liew. He's going to want to strike it off from here, just to keep the pressure on Paul Moor if he can. He's on for a 2.35 maximum if he can do that. Moor, though, is in pretty good position after that turkey, 2.68, if he can strike out on the card. But that's easier said than done on this lane. Nice work, 4-bagger for Moor, so he responds well to the challenge of Liew.
Well, between last year's tournament and the Weber Cup in October, I've seen nobody better on this lane than Paul. Day in, day out, every match, he's just rock solid.
Yeah, what an addition to the calendar the Weber Cup has been. There's the line for Paul Moor. There's not a massive amount of difference between he and Alex Liew in terms of their delivery approach. But the Weber Cup has, well, it's just really set the 10-pin bowling world alight, hasn't it? So the 7 left standing for Liew. He's pondering the changes that are happening to this lane, and unfortunately hasn't quite made the right decision, has he?
Yeah, it's hard to say. If he tried to move off that last shot, maybe it hooked a little bit early. It was hard to tell from up here. If you do move too early, the flat 7s and the flat 10s those are the ones that seem to catch everybody first.
So Liew at the moment facing a deficit, 2.24, his maximum possible. And at 5.24 to the extreme right of that graphic, that's what he can get as an aggregate score over 2 games, but that's assuming that he strikes out from here and doesn't miss with a single ball. That's unlikely to happen, it has to be said. Paul Moor in good position though, 2.68 is his potential maximum in this first game. Looking at turning 4 into a 5-bagger.
He's on autopilot right now, I think.
He's locked in, isn't he? He's locked in.
Just saw at the line. He's walking back. It's halfway there. I wouldn't mind that feeling a day or two.
Just like hitting your drive off the golf tee, bending over, picking up the tee and not even watching the ball. Paul Moor knows it's all going well at the moment. Liew now finds himself under pressure.
Good shot there, and very important. He needs to strike out in this game, and the way Paul bowled the second game last time, Alex may have to strike out from here on.
Yeah, we said if he can do that, then he'll have a decent maximum aggregate available. We've talked so often about par scores in this tournament, about what you're going to need to do to win, and it seems to me, Chris, that each year the bar just keeps getting raised and raised and raised, and par now on this lane looks about 220.
Yeah, but I think from this point on, the winners of these matches are going to have to shoot closer to 490 to have any chance to win.
Yeah, this is good work from Liew. He's responded very well to some serious pressure.
He spoke to me before the match started, and he said that he liked him much better the second game once they settled down. I imagine that allows him to get into his rhythm. He's a very good, very repetitive player, and once he gets comfortable, he strings lots of strikes. And I think these decisions in the first game have got him a little bit off and allowed Paul to get out to a lead.
Yeah, a lot of the players say that that first game for them is almost like a foundation game, but unfortunately over a two-game sprint you really don't have the luxury of trying to settle in. You've got to get going almost straight away. Well, hats off to Alex Liew. That's a terrific finish to the first game. That's going to bring him a score of 2-4, and now really all he can hope for is that Paul Moor, unlikely as it is, will make some sort of error. Good start, and that maximum of 5-2-4. Chris Barnes alongside me in the commentary booth believes that's pretty much what he's going to have to hit to win.
Well, Paul was 521 the first match, and he's off to a better start than he was the first match, regardless of what he does here in the 10th frame. I don't see anything that indicates he's going to slow down much. The one thing that could change, though, is you have two left-handers at the same time. Somewhere in here they will probably have to move to the right. And if Paul stays ahead of that, it'll be big trouble for Alex.
Another strike and a wry smile from my co-commentator, I can tell you.
Well, this is the one. It hooked early on him. Took a pretty good shot off his hand, but it did pick up, goes through the face, trips out the 610, which you don't see very often on these twisters. And it's breaks like that that can really make a difference.
The minimal hand movement from Paul Moor just lets us know that he acknowledges that he got a bit of luck there. Bit of help from the bowling gods, as Tim Mack would say. So needs to keep this going if you can. 268 available, remember, which will be a very nice opening game. Looked like a nice adjustment, Chris.
Yeah, I think he just moved the board right. He said his moves during this match will mostly be lateral, meaning right and left. So he just moved one board to the right, allows his ball to lay down in a little bit more oil, push longer down the lane, and creates that result.
And what a result that is. It just must be, under pressure especially, Chris, the sweetest feeling to see the pins go down like that.
There's very few feelings that are as good as throwing a shot pure, and you know it as soon as it's off your hand, and all 10 go straight back. Whoa.
Oh dear. Well, it's not done a tremendous amount of damage to his score. Just 3 pins down on what he could have scored. 265 then for Paul Moor. But any way you read it, that is a very healthy lead indeed for the Englishman to carry into the second game. It's looking good for Paul Moor.
Paul Moor is making a sprint for the semi-final. Can Alex Liew claw his way back? Join us for more after. Welcome back to the PartyPoker.net World 10-Pin Masters. As you can see behind me, the game is well underway. Let's go back for our